Hello there, people of the internet. I decided to go ahead and make myself a video series talking about things that you can get for under that $250 price point. So I did a video of these things that you could get for under $100 a little while ago, and I had a lot of people bring up that $250 is like the price point that really begins to shine in terms of what you get based off of the value that you put out. I thought about doing like a particular video where I do both long rifles, or basically long firearms, and handguns kind of like mixed together to make like a top 10 video or something like that. But I think I'm going to break it apart because I don't want these videos to go on too long. So this is 5 handguns that you can get for $250 or less. First, we are having a look at the SCCY CPX1 and CPX2 are both going to run under that $250 price point. As a matter of fact, they're more like around that $150 price point. Chambered in 9mm double stack, you're going to notice the magazine on this one is worn. These handguns have a reputation for not being very reliable. Well, once you get them past that 200 round break-in period, which every firearm has, then they actually become quite reliable. I have shoved a fair amount of ammunition through this particular one, as you can see from the magazine, and it has served me extremely well. The one thing I don't like about the CPX ones is the safety, so I literally just kind of took it off. I'm not concealed carrying this thing, so I don't need a safety on it, but there you go. There is a $150 handgun that you can go out and get right now, brand new. Or you could go find one on the used market for even less than that. Alright, up next, the Taurus Spectrum in 380. This looks like a Makarov PPK-inspired thing. Chambered in 380 ACP, it's not exactly all that potent of a cartridge, but it should be potent enough to handle whatever it is you need to handle. This particular magazine holds 6 rounds. They do make 7-round magazines. They may even make more capacity than that. I have tumble upon impact ammunition loaded inside this thing because I don't necessarily trust 380 ACP hollow points. Besides that, single stack, double action only handgun. There is no safety on this thing. The safety is that long trigger pull, get all the way to the rear. Pull that trigger, bang, it goes bang. I've made shots regularly with this on the channel. You can go watch the videos right now. Out at about 40 yards, and it's got about roughly 75% hit ratio on it. So that is good enough for me whenever it comes to defensive purposes. I don't think I've had a single malfunction with this particular one, but I've also ran this one quite a bit, so it's quite broken in comparison to some other handguns that I have in my collection. This definitely is not a regular carry of mine, but if I am, say, just going to the gas station to pick up a 6-pack, or if I'm going to the beach or something like that, and I don't want to carry a full-sized handgun, then this right here is what I will carry around, because it is extremely thin, extremely lightweight, extremely small, fits in the palm of my hand. It's a really, really good option. One of these will run anywhere from $150 to $200, depending on where it is that you're finding it. They're not overly expensive handguns. You can go out and find these pretty regularly for about that price point. Number 3, we have ourselves another Taurus semi-automatic on the table. This right here is my G2C, but you can basically pick any Taurus of this series, the G3 series, G3C, G whatever, and it's going to run under that $250 price point or thereabouts. This particular one is a 12-round double stack magazine. This does have the double strike capabilities. Go ahead and make sure that the firearm is cleared before I pull that trigger. This does have double strike capabilities, so if you pull the trigger, it goes click. There was our single action. So now we have double action trigger where, let's say, a round did not go off. Pull the trigger again. Goes click again, so you have yourself as many times as you want to pull that trigger. Manual safety on this thing, it disassembles just like a Glock, it works just like a Glock. We have Browning's tilting barrel design. Yeah, it's pretty indicative of all the other polymer frame striker-fired handguns that are out there on the market right now. You can pick one of these up, like I said, for that $250 price point, or if you get one off the used market, it will be even cheaper than that. So, there you go. Next up is going to be kind of an oddball for you guys. I like them. Don't know if you guys like them, but if you do, hey, hats off to you, because I am the same way. Cap and ball revolvers. You can go out and get yourself a cap and ball revolver for $200, $250 all day, every day, especially if it's one of the more mainstream ones like Pieta, brass frame, walnut, handled. Like, if it's a generic cap and ball revolver, then yeah, you can go out and get yourself one of these for not a whole lot of money. These right here are also classified as antiques, even though they are made modern day, simply because they do not take cartridges. That means that you can ship them right to your door without the use of an FFL. Now, they do make cartridge conversion cylinders that you can throw into these bad boys if you want to fire some real rounds through them, like some actual cartridge firing rounds versus just cap and ball, black powder, muzzle loading stuff like what I have this one right here set up for. But that'll cost you more money, and this right here is definitely still on the lethal side. Plenty of people have been put in the dirt with one of these. The only issue with black powder is you gotta clean it every single time that you use it, otherwise you have issues with corrosion because black powder has salt inside of it and sulfuric acid, and it corrodes metal extremely violently. So cap and ball revolvers, find them basically anywhere. I'm sure you go to any gun store or any gun selling website or anything like that, and you'll be able to find one of these. And they are at that $250 price point or less. Alright, and number 5, we have ourselves another revolver on the table. Basically, any of your old revolvers, especially your old 38s, you can find them for under 250 bucks. You get way cheaper guns if you find things that are not chambered in 38 special, because 38 special is very mainstream, especially if you've managed to find these old Ivor Johnson or Harrington and Richardson revolvers or anything like that. These normally sell for pretty cheap. This one right here is chambered in 38 Smith & Wesson, which is not a mainstream cartridge, which is one of the reasons why it sells for so cheap, but you can still get the ammo today, it's still made today, etc., etc. But these old guns, the way that they're designed, they don't have a cylinder stop on them, or so, like they don't have a cylinder stop on them, so people think that the cylinders are broken or out of time or things like that, and they sell them for really cheap gunsmith specials. The way that these actually work is that the cylinder stop is actually built into the trigger mechanism, so whenever you pull the trigger and it goes bang, that cylinder is going to lock in place where it needs to be, and there you go. Now you have yourself a inline cylinder. Now if you pull the trigger, it goes click and bang, and this cylinder still moves around like this, then you might have yourself a little bit of a timing issue with your revolver. But people think because the cylinders do this on these old guns that the guns are broken. That's just kind of the way that they're designing. As a result, you can get these for really cheap. This particular one is a top break revolver. Like I said, it is a 38 caliber. I've shown this off on the channel before. We got cool little markings on it, cool little handles on it. It's definitely seen better days, I will give it that. But I think I picked this one up for like $120 or something around there. But at that $250 price point, you have a whole slew of different options that are very, very similar to this that you can go out and pick up on the used market. So there is my list of 5 handguns that you can go out and get right now for that $250 price point. There are a lot more that I could add to the list, but these are like the ones that I have that I think would be the most predominant for my audience that views this channel. So here's my list. If you have any others to add, go and add them in the comments. If you want to see more options, then go check out the comments. I'm sure that the comments are going to be flooded with different options that you can go look at. Thanks for watching, folks. Appreciate your time. Like, subscribe, share. Description below has a link to all sorts of stuff. Go check it out. You guys go off, have yourself a fantastic day. I'll see you on the next episode. Since I've done this. Bonnie and Clyde be damned. Poor man's Garrett.
Shame that bolt action shotguns aren't more mainstream.